India, good evening. Thanks for joining us on Times Now. The high-octane, high-pitched campaign for the biggest battle has come to an end. Yes, it's curtains down on the campaign for the last phase of Lok Sabha Mahayudh as the silent period in campaign begins. After over a month of crisscrossing the entire country, BJP's biggest star campaigner, Prime Minister Modi, will be in Tamil Nadu's Kanyakumari. Taking a spiritual break, the Prime Minister will be far away from all the electioneering and go on a meditation at the Vivekananda Memorial Rock. At 5:15, in some time from now, in a few moments from now, he will perform puja and darshan at the Bhagwati Amman temple and mark the culmination of the long election process. But what would have been a spiritual halt seems to have sent the opposition into a meltdown, viewers. The opposition has tried every trick in the book to stop him. First, they mocked the meditation, saying he needs atonement for the words he used in campaign. And then they approached the Election Commission against move, calling it a violation of the model code. They even went to the DGP and claimed it was caused inconvenience to tourists in Kanyakumari. And finally now, ahead of his arrival, Go Back Modi posters have come up in several places across Chennai by DMK supporters. The opposition questioned why the Prime Minister needs camera for meditation. Sample some of the reactions.
We are not opposing anybody's meditation plans. We are not against Mr. Modi meditating wherever he wants, but we don't want it to be made a public spectacle. On the eve of the elections, when the model code of conduct is in force and of course the silent period is in vogue, the channels should not live telecast that and project as though he is doing something great. That is why we have given a letter to the Election Commission not to make it a spectacle.
प्रधानमंत्री देश का प्रधानमंत्री होती, पार्टी का प्रधानमंत्री नहीं होता। प्रधानमंत्री की हैसियत से हट करके जो है अपना कोई काम जहां प्रधानमंत्री की सुविधा छोड़ करके व्यक्तिगत तौर पर हो जाए, संन्यास लेना, जहां डूबना है नदी में, गंगा जल में, वहां डूबे, डुबकी लगाएं। तो आचार संहिता में उनके इन कार्यों के बारे से इनडायरेक्ट तरीके से एक लोगों को मोटिवेशन करने का ये तरीका है।
You heard reactions from TMC, Congress, as also the DMK. Let's open this up. Mr. C.R. Kesavan, the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, is joining us live. Mr. Kesavan, good evening. Good to speak to you once again. I want to begin by asking you, what do you make of the attacks coming in from the opposition? India Alliance partners are calling this a stunt for votes.
First thing, Pranesh ji, Prime Minister Modi ji is a Yuga Purush. He is probably in independent India the first philosopher, Prime Minister, Rajarishi, who has a profound understanding of our heritage, spiritual history and our parampara. And his travel, his spiritual quest going to the rock memorial at Kanyakumari in the footsteps of Swami Vivekananda ji, where the Swami attained enlightenment, is of great spiritual significance. And what Modi ji has done is, this is what he draws strength, he draws inspiration from visiting places of historical importance and spiritual importance. You know that on Diwali in South India, we say Deepavali. Every Deepavali since 2014, he spends it with the Jawans at different corners of Bharat. 2014, he's gone to Pratapgarh at the end of the campaigning, historic place where Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj had defeated the Adil Shah dynasty, Afzal Khan. 2019, he went to the Kedarnath cave, about one of the 12 Jyotirlingas of Lord Shiva. And one thing, Pranesh, in 2019, on May 18th, he did the meditation in the cave. And the election was on May 19th, similar to what is happening now. And the results were on May 23rd. It was perfectly in accordance with the MCC Model Code of Conduct. So the opposition is rattled. They are facing defeat. They know that. And if they are worried about the Prime Minister's articulation and speech, one can understand they are rattled by his mouth breath and silence. And if the Prime Minister goes to a spiritual place for strength and inspiration, we understand. But where is the solace and support coming from the Congress and India Alliance, from China and Pakistan? You know that the Congress leaders go on foreign tour vacations to Southeast Asia. Now, if they have a problem, they can go and meditate in Pakistan or China. But let us not dismiss it away lightly, because there is a very wild, sinister pattern when they attack Modi ji. They attacked the Pran Pratishtha ceremony and boycotted the Ram Mandir. We remember that. Coming back to the Sengol, they had cast it away. It was given by the Shaivite monks of the Tiruvadurai Adinam. They cast it away as a walking stick. When Modi ji revived its glory and placed it in parliament, they boycotted the parliament inauguration. When Modi ji went and prayed in the immersed divine Dwaraka city of Lord Krishna, they mocked. And when he was in Kedarnath, Ashok Gehlot had said, what is he doing wearing a saffron, robe? What has to be looked at is the background and the bona fide of all these parties who criticize. Congress party, there is a minister in Karnataka who says Hindu is a Gandhi word. You were showing people from RJD, they said Ramcharitra Manas is potassium cyanide. Look at the way they are against the Hindu Dharma. You showed about the DMK. DMK leader said Hindu religion is a menace to India. It is a menace to the world. And you talked about West Bengal. Mamata Banerjee's government has attacked the Ramakrishna mission, which was founded by Swami Vivekananda, and they said Ramakrishna mission is doing politics. So anything has to do with Bharat spiritualism or Hindu Dharma, these people are allergic. And I think when you look at Swami Vivekananda, he was such a uniting force. The Vivekananda Rock Memorial has a janda, a saffron janda with Om. Maybe they are very worried to see that in camera. Probably they are very petrified. And one more thing, Pranesh, I want to say, you talked about this camera. You should point out this hypocrisy. Rahul Gandhi, the Chinavi Hindu, whenever he went around, used to take the camera with him to temples. But this time something very interesting happened. He ran away from Wayanad to Raebareli. You would remember. When he filed his nomination the day from his office in Raebareli, he did puja part in the glare of the media. But did people ask why he didn't do puja part in Wayanad? Because Wayanad was a minority-dominated place. He never did puja part.
So, Mr. Keswan, while you are listing the hypocrisy of India Alliance partners, the charge from the other side is that this is indirect campaigning in the silent period, that this violates the model code of conduct. Now, I can tell you that the Election Commission has taken a position. They have ruled out the charge completely. But how would you respond to those who are saying that this is an indirect way of campaigning?
Pranesh ji, if people know about campaigning, even after the phase ends, you should not propagate with speakers or other things. But I told you last time in 2019, same scenario. May 18th, he was in Kedarnath cave meditating. May 19th was the voting. There was no problem. See, these people are facing an inglorious defeat. And they are looking at bahanas, they are looking at ways to blame. First they said EVM, then they started blaming the bureaucracy, then they politicized everything. Now they are latching on to the last straw, saying this is good. And tomorrow when they lose the election, they'll say this influenced the voters. The public is not going to buy this bunkum. And I'll tell you, come June 4th, they'll banish them to the boondocks of history because they don't like this kind of negative politics.
Now, why do you think the opposition is doing this? You've compared it to a larger pattern where they're anything to do with Sanatan, they always oppose. And in this case, they're anti-Sanatan and anti-Vivekanand, like you just said. Why are they doing this?
Because, see, let me ask you one thing. You look at the history of these parties. And see, this is such an unprincipled coalition which has come together. They are fighting an alliance with DMK, which said Sanatana Dharma is dengue, AIDS, and malaria. Will any right-thinking person accept it? And these people talk about, the statement which came from the Congress talked about what Vivekananda ji said in the Chicago, summit of religions, when he talked about the all-encompassing Hinduism. Is this a kind of Hindu Dharma which the Congress follows? So, the issue is very simple. They want to cater to their bigoted vote bank politics of religious appeasement, which is why they boycotted the Ram temple, which is why they boycotted the Sengol. And anything to do with our spiritual heritage, cultural heritage and dharmic heritage, they'll oppose because it will send, for them, they need to garner the votes of the vote bank, so they need to attack the Hindu Dharma.
Okay, Mr. Keswan, let me ask you this. Do you believe that this is a subtle messaging on Prime Minister's part at those who maligned Sanatan, even the DMK that has now put out Go Back Modi posters?
See, Pranesh, the place is of very historic important significance. When you see the history of the Rock Memorial,
right?
Vivekananda ji was there from December 25th to 27 in 1892. Before that, he had traveled the whole country and he was very, very saddened by the foreign rule, the British, by which we had lost our identity, individuality, and dharma. So he came here looking to see how we can stir up the spiritual consciousness of India so that we, become the great nation again. And after he came here, he had enlightenment because the rock exactly on which he meditated was where Bhagavati Parvati was supposed to have prayed to Lord Shiva, and it has the imprint of the goddess. So this was the place where he was enlightened and he got inspiration. Modi ji is going there. So because he has taken up this challenge of, and he's ensured that Bharat's dharmic revival and resurgence has happened. As the people are ready to bless him for a third term, he's going to the Rock Memorial to draw inspiration from Vivekananda ji's life and mission so that he can move forward from June 4th to ensure there is a civilizational renaissance of Bharat. And I'm sure that Swami Vivekananda ji's blessings and the people of Bharat's blessings will be there for Modi ji come June 4th, and he'll begin a historic third term as Prime Minister.
And I have that quote in 1894, Swami Vivekananda ji had written, I'm quoting now, at Cape Comorin, sitting in Mother Kumari's temple, sitting on the last bit of Indian rock, I hit upon a plan. We are so many sannyasins wandering about, teaching the people metaphysics. It is all madness. Did not our Gurudev used to say, an empty stomach is no good for religion, that those poor people are leading the life of brutes is simply due to ignorance. We have for all ages been sucking their blood and trampling them underfoot. Now, my final question to you, Mr. Kesavan, is that it's not just a petition to the Election Commission. The DMK is also saying that this is an inconvenience to the people, that this is an inconvenience for the tourists.
These are all very facetious, petulant, petty, parochial, and pungent arguments which will be rejected by the people. Modi ji is a very, Modi ji's leadership for the last 10 years has ushered in great heights for Bharat, and the people know that. And see, when Sengol happened, Pranesh, I don't know whether you even heard of the word Sengol before, but the whole nation started talking about Sengol. And, it was such a proud movement for all of us Tamilians. Everybody in the world and India knows about Vivekananda ji, but I'm sure some of them may not know about the Rock Memorial. And it's such a symbol of dharma and historic spiritual landmark and symbol for us. Rather than be happy in Tamil Nadu that this place has been brought to the forefront by Modi ji and should rally all the country and unite us behind. This petty politics of the Congress and the India alliance has been exposed before. I'm again reiterating, this negative politics of the Congress India alliance will be defeated, and on June 4th, Modi ji, as the Prime Minister for the third term, will herald Bharat's civilizational renaissance.
On that note, Mr. Kesavan, thank you for joining us and putting this in context for our viewers. The Prime Minister's chopper has just landed. He'll be first going to a temple before beginning his spiritual sojourn. We're taking a short break. On the other side, Varshini joining us live from outside the Rock Memorial with people around her to get us a sense of what they feel. Stay with Times Now.